Welcome to That Heartbreak Hogs podcast. If you are new here, please consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Please comment down below your thoughts on our takes. And with that being said, we are going to head into the video that you came here for. We are back.
Yeah.
Yes, Sid, we're back. And well, Sid's on vacation right now. He's up in Boston, having a good time, watching the Hogs win. So, Sid, your prediction right now looks like it's panning out. You had him beating Mizzou. I doubted him. I sent you the jinx. There ain't no way we beat Mizzou after Mizzou crushed Alabama. In the Auburn game, whenever we were playing Auburn, Mizzou crushed Alabama, and it was just like, oof, this is going to be tough. And the first half, it looked like it was going to be tough, and then the second half, they came rolling back. How are you feeling about everything? Like, how were you feeling going into the – I mean, we're not going to spend too much time on the Auburn game. I think that, we competed, and it was tough watching them lose because it was like, dang, they really had a chance. And we had talked about that as like, just compete, show that you should be in here and can compete with teams like this. And then, don't get blown out. Let's just see what happens after that. And I had doubts. I did not think we were going to beat Mizzou. Obviously I was hoping for it, but I didn't think it was going to happen. And then after we beat them, I was like, all right, we can't get too excited about beating Mizzou. We can't be storming the court after beating Mizzou or anything. We can't make too big of a deal out of it. This is something we need to be doing consistently. But how are you feeling, man?
Yeah, no, I've said it all season. For us, it's just been kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. And it's really any given game in the SEC, you can go out and beat the number one seed, and the very next day or very next play, just lose to a South Carolina like Mizzou did, right? Or Mizzou plays them, but Texas did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really just any given game in this SEC, and is what I've noticed. So that's why even
I'm glad it wasn't us.
Auburn game, right? After watching that Auburn game, it was like we had a chance to win it, but guess what we did? Shot ourselves in the foot. And early in the Mizzou game, we thought it was going to be the same thing that's going to happen, where we're kind of just keep hurting ourselves. Luckily, that didn't happen. And any given game, this was ours. And down the stretch, we were able to pull it out. And with 4 games left to go, again, keep that same mindset any given game and find a way to pull it out. These are winnable games. We'll talk about Texas and what I think of us beating Texas. But I still think we have a very good shot now in making the tournament before even going to the SEC tournament. And I still think that's possible.
Yeah. And you have, from last week, before the Auburn game, we did like predictions of what Arkansas needs to do to get into the tournament to solidify themselves. And I think we pretty much agreed, if I remember correctly, that if Arkansas gets to 7 SEC wins with a ranked win, so if they won their last 3, which will get them to 7, because they got 1 since that recording, as long as one of them was a ranked win, 7 should be enough, but 8 will solidify you. Like if you get 8, you're in. And this game right here is really key, this Texas game. But I think, didn't you have them beating Mizzou but losing to Texas?
Yeah.
And then did you have them beating Vanderbilt? Is that kind of
Yeah, I had them beating South Carolina. Well, no, actually I had them losing to Texas.
Right.
I just think it's tough to beat a team twice. I know they're coming into our house and they're just going to be looking for revenge.
Right.
Then I
and
had
coming off a loss,
South Carolina.
they
and
need
coming
it.
off
They're
big
coming
loss.
hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
I had us beating South Carolina, and then
Mm-hmm.
I believe I had us winning Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Mississippi
Right, because
State
I
was
think you
a
finished 3-0 at the end. Yeah.
yeah. Mississippi State was a win for me. I think I said it last week. It still holds true. Where
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the season, I think Mississippi State makes it
Yeah.
for sure. So I don't think we'll try as much, and we'll just get ready for the SEC tournament, and we will
Mm,
be more hungry to get that last win to end the season
mm.
strong
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
potentially solidify it. Right. So.
That's actually a really good way of looking at it, as at the last game or even two games. But Vanderbilt's going to be trying to fight and claw their way in, so
Mhm.
Vanderbilt is going to be fighting hard. But that's a
Yeah.
good point. Is Mississippi State? They're already in. They're coming over to Fayetteville. Arkansas will likely really need the win, and that's a good point. That
That's just what I'm
will
predicting. That's
Mississippi
not. That's
State?
not.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like
they're not just going to
I
give the
would be.
game. Like, they're
Yeah,
not going
I
to
would
sit
be
their
ecstatic.
starters or anything.
Right. And exactly like Arkansas is just not going to give the game to Texas tomorrow either.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so I do hope for sure that we win tomorrow, and that would be
Mm-hmm.
great back to back wins, and just get a leg up over Texas, like you had said. They are still ahead of us somehow, and winning against them twice in a row would just solidify us being over them. So I do hope that we get it. I just see it being a tougher match.
And are you So you are changing your prediction? You are saying that they do beat Texas, or are you sticking
I'm
with?
hoping we beat Texas, but I'm not. I think I'm keeping my prediction the same, and that I
Okay.
don't think we beat them. But I'm obviously, as a Razorback fan, I hope we win all four of the next
Right.
games, just like every Razorback
Exactly.
fan. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. So my original prediction before the Auburn game was we would go, we would lose to Auburn and Missouri. I just thought it was going to be too much, and we weren't there yet. And I'm glad we beat Missouri. And Auburn was close. We had our chances, and I was really curious to see what would happen there. And then I didn't know what to do about this, but I was like, if we go 0-2 versus Auburn and Missouri, you have to beat Texas. You come in,
Mm-hmm.
having to beat them. You have to beat South Carolina. Vandy was going to be hard, and Mississippi State was going to be tough. And I think I picked Vanderbilt, but I did not pick Mississippi State. I'm going to change up my prediction a little bit here. I'm going to stick with Texas. I do think that I don't think they're going to let down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's tough to say as a Hog fan. Um,
It's a
I,
home game too, so
I
I know
know.
the crowd will be there.
Let's just say I'm like 55% sure Arkansas will win this.
Mhm.
Not too confident, but I'm leaning towards, I think that they're going to be focused. I think they're going to stay focused.
Yeah,
And it does scare me a little bit that Texas is playing hardcore desperation mode, but Arkansas has been playing really good. And instead of being like, after those close losses
yeah,
and going like, oh man, we're never going to win. We're never going to win these close ones. No, they got it together. They kept grinding, and they beat Mizzou pretty bad in the second half comparatively for a half. Whenever it looked like the Mizzou was just going to run away with it, you were like, man, they just don't miss. They're not going to miss any
mhm,
threes. They're going to win this. Mizzou's going to come in and make them look silly again. But no, they got it together, and I think that they take care of Texas. I think they take care of South Carolina. I think they take care of Vanderbilt, and I think they take care of Mississippi State. I'm all in. I think that they win out. I think it is really on the table, and I'm going to just say I'm about 55% confident on that.
mhm.
But again, I'm leaning towards it. I've seen what I needed to see. I was like, okay, I just need to see this team actually keep competing and then get a win before I can start picking them to win more games. And the Mizzou, I learned a lot about the team with Auburn and Mizzou, because Auburn, you had your chances. And then Mizzou, you took those lost chances that you missed out on, and you made it happen. And to me, that said a lot about where they're going, and they just seem to keep going up. I mean, they had lost, I think, 2 in a row before the Mizzou game, but it was to number 8 and number 1. So it's not like,
Right.
you lost to, two nobodies or two unranked teams or barely top
Hmm.
25. No, you lost to two top 10 teams. One's number
Hmm.
1 on the road.
Right.
Both of them were on the road. And for you to even
Yeah.
still be in the game says a lot. So anyway, I mean, I rambled on there a while. And see, you're
Yeah.
waiting to say
No.
something.
No. I was just agree. I just think we are really good at hurting our own
I
selves
know.
without this game. I just looked, and we are 4.5 point favorites for as of last Friday.
Really?
Right. That's a
Okay.
good amount of margin, and I think it's just don't let up and don't shoot yourself in the foot and don't,
Right.
like Auburn, don't foul a 90% shooter, um, free throw shooter. And that's what we did. And then Big Z kind of continuously like
Hmm.
just jacking up threes. I know it, like without it working, if something's not working, be able to pivot and
Right.
kind of avoid those turnovers as well, where every
Adjustments.
basket counts. And I think if we do that, yeah, I can see these 4 wins as well. But it's really going to depend on how we pull against tomorrow against Texas and how we get this ball rolling.
Yeah.
Because it's a good momentum right now. I think we have better momentum than Texas, obviously, but
Hmm.
Texas just losing to South Carolina, they are
Yeah.
just
They're
have that dog
they're
mentality.
yeah.
Um, so it's not going to be easy. But I think with our momentum, as long as we don't hurt ourselves, we win this game.
And then what are the rest of your predictions before we get into? I do want to get into the topic of Texas more here, but what are your predictions for the last 4 games, game by game, real quick?
Yeah, I think best. I still think there's a good chance we make it in with 7 wins.
Hmm.
Um, with
Meaning we need
just
two more.
meaning we need two
Meaning we
more
need
out
to
of
at
the
least win
four.
2 out of the last 4. Yeah.
Um, I don't think with the two more though, like in the SEC tournament, we just can kind of get blown out either. Uh,
Hmm.
I think with as long as even we don't need to win a game, but if we keep it close in that tournament, I think 2 wins, and as we've discussed, 3 solidifies it, and us moving on. Because whether it's Texas or South Carolina, Vanderbilt, that's still a solid 3 win, 4 in a row wins,
Hmm.
and Mississippi State obviously last. That one I'm still not sure about. I'm going to have to see what we
I
do
know.
against Texas, and I'm going to have to see what
Hmm.
we do against South Carolina to kind of predict next week on what we can do against um, Vandy and Mississippi State.
So you think 2 will most likely get us in the tournament, but not a guarantee.
Not a
It's like just
guarantee.
it's not a guarantee, but it puts you in
Good
a
chance.
position of just don't lose in the first round of the SEC tournament if you only get 2 more here at the end.
Right. And
And
we want to be placed, honestly, in the best position as well. While our goal is to just get in the tournament, it's also
mhm,
to get in a good spot
in
where
a
we're
good
able to
seed.
compete
Yeah,
in the tournament and not just be a one in, one out. Uh,
right. Yeah, don't get
so,
matched up with Duke in game 1, you know.
right. Yeah.
Um, although that that's like a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed's worst nightmare would be to like get matched up with Arkansas. It's like
Arkansas. Yeah.
you get like your number 1 or number 2 seed and you have to play Arkansas. It's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh.
Even
What?"
with two, I don't know if we go 16 seed, a two, and maybe we do. But just being a 16 seed, I don't see happening with 2 wins, and um, unless we barely get in, but because we get blown out in the SEC tournament too.
Yeah. Um okay, so what do you think is actually going to happen? What is your prediction from what you've seen
I'm
so
I'm still
far?
I'm still sticking with the 3 wins outside of out of the 4.
Okay.
South Carolina, Vandy, and Mississippi State.
Okay. So you think that they kind of get a wake up call here. Um they get what's the word here? Trapped. It's a trap game here, and it's kind of a get back on track game.
I saw Adu might not be playing also for this game, and I don't know. It's just
Mhm.
like we gave. I think we did like ball out hard to beat Mizzou, and I just hope we have enough fight left to still beat Texas. Again, it's
Right.
at home, which helps.
All right. So now we got to get into this. Um for me, I already said I'm looking for 4 here. Um Sid, real quick, is 4 on the table for you? Like, do you think like I know that you're leaning towards 3 here,
Yeah.
but like, would you be that surprised if 4 happened, or would you be like, oh wow, I was not expecting that?
Let's just say I'll be very happy if 4 happens. Um, but
Yeah.
in terms of expectations, it really is any given game. Like South Carolina could, it has a shot
Oh my
at that game
gosh.
too. Like I know I'm saying this, but like that technically
Yeah.
beat Texas, even though um, they had zero conference wins. It's like
Mhm.
any given game is a possibility. So yes, I do think the 4 is a possibility, but as long as we don't
Dude,
hurt ourselves,
if they lose to Texas and then South Carolina, oh my
it's
gosh.
gonna be tough.
Yeah. So, but let's get into the Texas Arkansas matchup here. Obviously, we beat them in Austin. I was there. It was awesome. It was great being there. Texas fans were really quiet most of the game. Anyway, yeah, it was awesome. But we're looking here at the net rankings, and we're looking at the bubble situation, and Texas is right in front of Arkansas. They have the exact same record. They have the exact same conference record. So they're 16 and 11, and they're both 4 and 9 in the conference. And Texas is one spot ahead of Arkansas in the tournament, even though Arkansas won the head to head. This is the tiebreaker. You have to beat Texas here, because say that we do get 7 wins total and we beat Texas, and Texas also finishes with 7 wins. If there's
Mhm.
any type of competition between taking Texas or taking Arkansas, they're going to pick Arkansas if we beat Texas twice.
For sure.
And we may even get in if Texas even finishes one extra win than us, just because
Mhm.
we beat them head to head twice. This is very key. If you beat Texas, you take care of South Carolina, I think that you are in a really good shot of being in. If you beat
Yeah.
Texas, you beat South Carolina, and you win one more at Vanderbilt, who's also in the fight in the bubble. Um, Vanderbilt is up there. Let me double
Yeah. I don't
check.
know if you're keeping track with that score also. I know you would, it's any given game. We talked about Georgia being up by 10.
Georgia is another
Um,
one.
and Georgia is right now down by 1 with
Oh,
a
they
minute
gave up the
left.
lead.
Yeah.
So let me see here. Where? Oh man, I had a link open with the bubble watch, and of course now it's gone.
So
Uh,
Texas has us left, Georgia left, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma left. So I think that Mississippi State one is like catches my eye where if Mississippi State beats Texas, then it really gets interesting where that last game might not matter as much to Mississippi State as
right.
it does to us.
Yeah, that is a
If
really
Mississippi
good point you
State,
brought up. Yeah.
if yeah, so as I'm looking at their schedule, like this next
It,
week's gonna be interesting.
and like you mentioned too, it just depends if Mississippi State is going to what kind of seed they want. If they're
Hmm.
already kind of locked in a certain NCAA bracket seed, they're not going to be as motivated. Doesn't mean they're going to give up the game, but they're not going to be as motivated to really put it all out there. And Arkansas will probably be playing for a higher seed, or maybe even to get in if they drop Texas. So, like you
Well, I just
mentioned,
actually realized. Do you think there's a shot Mississippi? There might be a shot Mississippi State falls out of the rankings this week.
they
They play
may.
Bama. They play Bama this week or today, and if Bama beats them, I think they're ranked 24th. So, I mean, they could just drop one, and at that point, it gets very interesting in that they need to win. They're going to want to win the next 3 games.
So let me see here. So like you were saying, it looks like that Mississippi State they go to Bama, and that's going to be tough. Uh, then they play LSU, which they should get, and then Texas they should get. Then they come to Arkansas. As of right now, they would probably be the favorite over Arkansas. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be a little different since it's at Bud Walton. Maybe not. Let's actually see what the matchup predictor. Yeah,
I just think
Arkansas's
it's
favorite. Never mind.
possible. I think it's possible that
They could
Mississippi
drop some
State
games.
isn't
Right.
ranked by
That's
the time we
exactly
play
right.
them, and so I'm glad we beat Mizzou, and that we got a solidified ranked opponent win.
Yeah, because if LSU and or Texas gets Mississippi State, now all of a sudden Mississippi State's demeanor has changed. But if
Mhm.
Mississippi State wins all these games, they're probably just going to be coasting in, and it's not going to be as big of a deal. Um,
Right.
so you brought up Georgia too, because we were talking about that earlier, and I'm glad you did. Georgia is the next 4 out as of right now.
Mm.
If they find really, even if they lose today against Florida and find a way, as we're recording this, I don't know the outcome just yet. But if they lose or win, if they win, that just gives them more and more fuel. If they lose, they're in hardcore desperation mode. And that's a team that if they win, Arkansas is now competing with. So Georgia winning is going to make more teams that Arkansas has to compete with to get into this bubble if you lose to Texas. Do not lose to Texas. This is the key game right here. You have to beat Texas because that will put you in front of Texas, and it'll keep you in front of Georgia. And then Vanderbilt, I don't see Vanderbilt
Yeah,
on
they've
this.
got A&M. They've got A&M tomorrow, and then Mizzou. So Vandy will be right. Right. I have a feeling neck and neck with us when we play them in terms of record. If they
So
lose 2 out of the next 4.
Vanderbilt, as of right now, is a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament. If
Okay.
Vanderbilt starts losing, they start dropping. And then it becomes between Arkansas and Vanderbilt if Arkansas gets past Texas. So you are playing, and Vanderbilt, by the way, goes to A&M, hosts Missouri, hosts Arkansas, and goes to Georgia. Vanderbilt could be on a 2-game losing streak when they play Arkansas. A loss at A&M and a loss to Missouri. It's possible. Then they have to finish their season against Georgia. This is where it gets really crazy, and you want to beat your competition, which is Texas and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, if they lose the next 2 games when they're playing you, this could be where we're neck and neck at the bubble spot or at the 10 seed spot, like competing to get the 10 seed. So anyway, a lot of really interesting stuff going on and opportunities. We set our own destiny here. We've got our future in the palm of our hand. And are you going to go up there and dunk it? Or are you going to dribble it out of bounds or throw a bad pass like Nelly Davis? No, I'm
Right.
just kidding. No,
I would just say, I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities outside of our team and what's in our hands.
mm-hmm.
What is in our hands is these next 4 games.
Yes.
and is just not hurting our own selves. We don't. I don't care about if
You can
Vandy
compete
loses
with anybody.
two,
This
three.
team can compete with anybody.
Yeah,
Like you're
because
saying, yeah.
right. So any team, honestly, and in the SEC can compete with anybody.
Yep.
So just don't overlook any opponent, and I feel like that's what possibly Texas did too, because they were chomping at facing us, right, and then
Yep.
they just overlooked South Carolina.
Yep.
We can't do that.
We
We
can't
can't
do
do that
that.
with our record. We
I
can't
know.
do that.
And it
So
might be
I hope we
easy
take that
because
as a
people are going
learning.
to be like, oh, Texas just lost to South Carolina. That'll be easy. No,
Mhm.
no, 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 no. South Carolina just proved your point that this every team in this conference can compete with anybody.
Right.
Man, dude, it is going to be really fascinating. Again, to me, I'm circling Texas and Vanderbilt here. Well, I'm even circling South Carolina because you cannot lose to South Carolina and you cannot lose to Texas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. That is
Right.
the other thing. I mean, there's so many scenarios that you can't do. It's basically you got to at least win two. 3 and 4 will get you in. 4 will get you, I think, in the 10th spot, maybe a ninth. But yeah, and then who knows with the SEC tournament if you go up in that,
Mhm.
because if you win your last 4, who's to say that you can't make a run in the SEC tournament? And then
Right.
if you do that, and you say you get to the
We may
quarterfinal
never
or
lose a game again
semifinals,
if they
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. You win the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding.
If they win, then they get it in the tournament, and then they don't lose again.
Yeah. Then they never lose again. But we'll just have to see. But man, opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. You control your own destiny here, as like you were saying. Do not shoot yourself in the foot, because if you play your best ball and you don't shoot yourself in the foot, you're going to beat anybody that you're playing, or you're going to come really close to it. So Texas, they're going to come out. They're going to come out swinging hard because they made a big mistake. Losing on the road to South Carolina really hurt them. They are going to be in desperation mode, and they're going to come in looking to beat you. And
Mhm.
you basically embarrassed. I mean, we embarrassed them last time. We crushed them. I think they
Right.
were. I don't remember how much they were favored by. Um, let's see here. They were favored by 7.5. And at
Yeah.
one point in that game, I think we were up by 20 something points. It's just like,
And that was after. I think that was after we beat Kentucky too. So it wasn't
right,
just it was coming off a big game too with
right.
that momentum. So I hope it's the same thing where last time we beat Kentucky, then we beat Texas. This time we beat Mizzou, and then we beat
Hmm.
Texas. And I hope it's just history repeats itself.
I do too, man. Gosh, I hate that it's at 8 o'clock, man. I wish they would make some of these
It's
games
it's nine
earlier.
o'clock for me.
Oh
I'm in
man,
Boston, so it's
even
it's at 9
worse.
p.m.
Nice 9 o'clock game for you, man. But
That's
I
just
think it should be a
crazy.
good one. What are the keys to winning this game here, Sid?
I
Yeah.
think I think I mentioned this earlier, where just not hurting ourselves, being able to pivot if something's not working.
Hmm.
Don't just kind of shoot up threes. Don't foul strategically.
Hmm.
Don't have silly turnovers where we're just giving them the game, and it's not even them that it's wanting to
Yeah.
win it. If we are able to compete, we are able to win.
Right.
Um,
And don't foul
yeah,
90% free throw shooters.
you're right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
unreal.
Any
So,
any players that you're looking forward to, like that you think need to have a big game in this one?
well, it's interesting. I think so. Is Adu for sure out? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because honestly, I can't get behind. I wanted to earlier in the season, but it's hard to get behind Brazil right now
I
with
know.
the season it's gone. So um, it's hard. I think Big Z is capable of scoring even more, but if as long as we if his threes aren't going in, we have a 7 foot guy that can rebound. Like
Yep.
he's a tall guy that should be.
Yeah.
If threes aren't working, work on rebounding. Just get the ball out, get the ball back, and get another opportunity.
So I'm not seeing anything
Um,
about Adu being out. Um, but I mean, I
okay,
guess he might be limited,
yeah.
but
I mean, if
I'm
it
not
is
seeing anything
like,
about it.
gotcha. I mean, yeah. I think that's the key. I think obviously, like everyone, like Carter Knox and Ali Davis, everyone is going to have to work
Knox
together.
has really
If
stepped it
one,
up, man.
if
Knox
it's
has
not
been the
working for
man.
one player,
Yep.
if it's not working for you in terms of shots, pass the
Yep.
ball and get the ball and find other opportunities to
Yeah.
make a bucket. And
Yeah.
that's my key to winning. And it's easier said than done, but it's been done, so we can do it
Right.
again.
Yeah. I agree with you 100% with just no stupid turnovers. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. We don't need to be fouling 90% free throw shooters at the end of the game. Also, fouling 3-point shooters. That don't do that. Like, don't foul a guy shooting a
Right.
3-pointer. It seems that we're doing that every game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I took a jab at Nelly Davis earlier, and want to clarify that. I think Nelly Davis has been playing a lot better. I think that he's shooting really well now. I'm really liking what he's doing. However, his passing is atrocious. He
Mm-hmm.
passes so lazily sometimes, and it doesn't even look like sometimes that he looks before he passes. And I see that sometimes even with Brazil too. Like you were calling out Brazil. It's like specifically with
If
Brazil
Brazil
coming
doesn't
down the
score
court,
buckets, yeah,
and he's not scoring buckets, and then he gets out rebounded.
right.
What happened to that monster dunker that was awesome? Brazil was that guy. I miss him, man. And
Mm-hmm.
he does a cool dunk every now and then, but it's wide open dunks that he does. I want to
Right.
see him jam it down somebody's throat. See that again. And look before you pass. Especially Nelly Davis, dude.
Yeah.
If you're driving to the hoop, Nelly, go up with it. Do not pass it. I've seen too many times where he drives to the hole and he gets pressured and he just throws it away. And then it's like he throws it at the other guy's feet or he throws it where the other guy can't get it and it's a turnover. And Nelly, shoot the ball if you're open or if you're taking it to the rim, keep going, take it to the rim, go to the free throw line. You're a great free throw shooter. You don't need to be dumping it off at somebody's feet at the rim. Go up
Mm-hmm.
with it, get an and one opportunity or hit some free throws because it's just like there are just some lazy turnovers that it's just like that can be prevented. Don't pass it. Use your confidence
Yeah.
and go up with it.
No,
I
I
mean, have you been
completely
seeing
agree.
that?
Like, no, exactly. I think that is part of shooting yourself in the foot, literally. Where like the thing that has been helping us is on the defensive side, where we've been able to get steals, and if we're able to kind of have the other team make those silly mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and get steals, get turnovers, um, that's when we win the game. Now imagine we do continue doing that, but also on offensive side of the ball, be confident in shooting, and if shooting isn't working, pivoting, and then yeah, like you said, I've been seeing just the lazy passes where anyone
Lazy
can take it up.
passes.
So
But our
um,
defense is looking good. Like
defense is
our
exactly like
defense
I feel
looks
like we're
good.
the top for steals every
And Big
game.
Z, man, he's blocking,
Right,
he's stealing. I mean, dude, he is playing good. Like he's a threat on
defensively, yeah.
defense, man. Like people
Mm-hmm.
aren't backing him down like they used to. They're not
And
taking advantage of him like
if
they used
threes are
to.
going in for him, keep shooting those threes because it's cool to see
Right.
Big Z making the threes. I don't want to say that, but when he's going 0 for 7, 0 for 9,
Yeah, yeah, give
um,
it to Knox. or Nelly.
give it away, and
Yep.
rebound the ball to get a better bucket. But if
Yep.
you get rolling, yeah, Big Z, keep shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and if you're feeling confident in your shot,
And
of course.
and don't get Z like don't wait until the fourth quarter for him to start shooting threes.
Right.
Um, I don't remember which game it was, but it wasn't until like the very end of the game he shot threes. I think it was Alabama. Was it the Alabama game that
I just
he
know
wasn't
Auburn game.
shooting?
I remember he went 0 for 9.
Right, but I
Um,
think before that he hadn't really shot a three all game, and then at the very end he did like a fadeaway three with like little to no time left, and it was like his
right.
first
Yeah.
attempt.
Yeah.
And it was like, why hasn't he been attempting more threes? But by the way, Georgia has officially, while we're recording this, beaten Florida.
Oh, geez. I see.
So
All right.
Georgia is now in the mix in the bubble with us, Texas, and potentially Vanderbilt in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
This is why we have a head-to-head win against Georgia. This is why we need to beat Texas and we need to beat Vanderbilt so that we will have enough wins that Georgia stays behind us, Vanderbilt stays behind us, and Texas stays behind us. If we beat Texas and Vanderbilt, I think we are for sure, almost for sure in. If you beat Texas, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina, I think you're in for sure. I do.
No, I agree. I completely agree. It's crazy that Georgia just lost. It was crazy when won. It was crazy when South Carolina won.
Yes.
Any given game in this SEC, and I think that's what will be looked at as well when they're deciding on who gets in the tournament. It'll be, I feel like, majority of the SEC that could even get in. Now,
right.
I still want those wins to like solidify it, but I can see Georgia getting in. I can see Arkansas getting in. I can see Texas getting in. Oh, Vandy, like even these
Vandy, yeah,
ones that
Vandy's
everyone
in
said.
right now. It's up to Vandy if they keep losing.
Right.
Like if they lose again,
We saw their schedule. It is tough schedule coming
it
up
is
for them,
tough.
but
And
again, any given game,
right,
they can beat.
right.
If they beat Texas A&M and Mizzou, they're in
Yes,
easily.
yes, exactly.
And then they might not care about the Arkansas game.
Right. Then there's that, that perspective as well of not necessarily not care, but like not have the same motivation to,
As
we need to
do,
get
right.
this win.
Right.
We need to get this win. Circling it on there saying win, win, win. Where Arkansas from here on out, it's every game circled. You have to win. And if you do lose to Texas, it is not the end of the world. Mm-hmm. But it puts you a step back. It definitely, it may even put you 2 steps back because now you really have to beat Vanderbilt and you really have to beat South Carolina and you may really have to beat Mississippi State now.
And both of those games are away too. The South Carolina and Vandy, both of those are away games. So
yeah,
it's never easy when you're competing with these guys that are also wanting to make it in. And being
and they all are.
So,
yeah,
right.
All of these teams are, and you've played all of them. You've played Georgia, you've played Texas, and you play Texas one more time. You play Vanderbilt at the end here. You have to, if 7 wins is what we end up getting, it has to be against Georgia or Texas and Vanderbilt, in my opinion. A loss to South Carolina may hurt, but it will hurt. But
yeah,
if you do beat Vanderbilt and Texas, it would be very hard to argue with putting them in front of you, especially if you beat Texas twice. Like you cannot put Texas in front of Arkansas, no matter what happens here at the end.
I think we're all on the same page. Everyone's on the same page. It'll be interesting. I mean, let's see if we win. That's all.
I've probably repeated this stuff about 100 times in here, but like that's how important this is. You have to beat Texas. It starts with beating Texas. It's not the end of the world if you lose to Texas, but it starts here of you. You either go 2 steps back. I'm going to change it from 1 step to 2 steps. You either go 2 steps back or 2 steps forward beating Texas.
Right.
That's a difference of 4 steps there. 4-step difference.
What do you think about Texas, South Carolina as being our 2 wins?
It depends what Vanderbilt does. But I don't think that I think Vanderbilt is the 4th team that we're battling against. I think it's really Georgia could creep in there and Texas. Yeah, to me it's you're pretty much ahead of Georgia unless if things really hit the fan. If you lose out, Georgia passes you.
I mean, they're tied with us now, so it's
You're in a comfortable lead with Georgia, but Georgia's now becoming a little bit like you're getting a little too close, buddy. like that. I think Texas is the biggest one here. You want to be 2-0 over Texas. Because if you're 2-0 over Texas and you somehow lose 2 or 3 more, even if Texas has 1, maybe even 2 more wins than you at the end of the year, because you beat them twice, you could argue and say you can't put them in front of Arkansas if you beat them twice. So that's why I say I think Texas is the most important, followed by Vanderbilt. South Carolina and Vanderbilt seem to have equal weight. Like, you don't want to lose to South Carolina, but beating Vanderbilt would be good. But you kind of, if you beat South Carolina, you also kind of want to beat Vanderbilt too. I don't know. There's so many. You want to win them all. You want to win them all. But to me, Texas, it's the most important here is you have to beat Texas so you have a 2-0. You don't want to be split with Texas. You don't want to be split because for whatever reason, the numbers are favoring Texas. Hell, Texas is in front of you and you already beat them with the same record. We have the same record and they're in front of us for some reason. So beat Texas. I'm going to end it there because we're running around in circles here. We've hit
the nail on the head. I think the nail's already been hit.
Oh, man.
I think we'll just see what happens and talk about it next week.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed our 42-minute, well, mainly my 42-minute rant about us having to beat Texas here. But we'll see. I'm glad we beat Missouri. I'm glad we competed against Auburn. I'm excited to see what happens. And I do think winning 4 in a row here, finishing 4 is on the table. And I think that it's very doable. So, Sid, you're sticking with your 3 here at the end, 3 out of 4. And I've upped to mine
with the 3 out of 4. But yeah, like you said, getting hot in this point of the season is everything. So.
Yep. All right. Well, let's head out of here, and hopefully we're coming back next week. Winners here, and excited to talk about potential seeding rather than, what do we have to do to get back in? So we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see you guys later. And Sid, have fun watching it at 9:00 on Wednesday. And go Hogs.
Go Hogs.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Again, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and commenting down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.